Welcome to Waterloo Greenway. I'm John Rigdon, the Chief Planning and Design Officer with Waterloo Greenway Conservancy. We are the 501c3 nonprofit partner working with the City of Austin to create a vibrant new public space along the lower mile and a half of Waller Creek on the eastern side of downtown. The first phase of Waterloo Greenway, Waterloo Park and Moody Amphitheater, opened in 2021. Since then, we have welcomed hundreds of thousands of visitors to events, programs, and community gatherings. Today, we will tour a portion of the second phase of Waterloo Greenway known as the Confluence, a 14-acre public space along the southernmost stretch of Waller Creek featuring extensive natural restoration, new bridges and trails, and smaller-scale gathering spaces. The Confluence weaves its way through an area of dense development, connecting the historic 6th Street District, the Convention Center, Palm Park, the Rainey Street Historic District, the Mexican-American Cultural Center, and the Butler Trail, along an accessible, well-lit hike and bike trail immersed in a native Central Texas landscape. To start our tour, we will head to the northernmost area of the Confluence at 4th Street and begin a series of stops as we work our way south to Lady Bird Lake. Today, we will be taking you on a virtual tour of Phase 2 of Waterloo Greenway, the Confluence. This phase of the project is long and linear, weaving along a restored half-mile of Waller Creek. It reconstructs a severely eroded section of the creek, enhances connections between the Butler Trail, Rainey Street, Palm Park, the Convention Center, and downtown Austin. The Confluence is a connector and multiplier of the impact of the many major projects around us. Both public and private projects line the Confluence, and we are working closely to connect and maximize benefits. Public projects like the Austin Convention Center redevelopment, the expanded Mexican-American Cultural Center, and private developments like the Waterline and the Travis will be seamlessly connected. This will include cafes and restaurant spaces to grab a bite to eat, cultural and art destinations, as well as places to shop. Building these connections will create a safe, lively, and vibrant area of Austin that the whole community can see themselves in and enjoy. Our first stop as we move along the Confluence is at the Trailhead Plaza at 4th Street. This important mobility connection will invite bikes and pedestrians down from the downtown rail station, Lance Armstrong Bikeway, and 6th Street District to a fully off-street, universally accessible trail network, connecting visitors to Rainey Street and Lady Bird Lake. The trails are accessible to bikes and pedestrians, well lit, and avoid all conflicts with cars, all while immersed in Central Texas nature. These improvements change the way mobility works on the eastern side of downtown, shortening distances and making bike and pedestrian movement through this area more accessible and inviting. What once might have been a hot, sweaty 25-minute walk from 4th Street to get down to Rainey Street, with unsafe interactions with vehicles, is now a pleasant, shaded 5 to 10 minute walk or jog, immersed in nature along this new trail system on Waller Creek. Looking south, we can see the Cypress Grove. The Cypress Grove includes a complete reconstruction of the creek, addressing erosion that had taken the creek down to the bedrock. Before generations of development and flood events eroded the creek channel, this area would have been surrounded by beautiful bald cypress and other native Central Texas plantings. Aided by the flood management benefits from a flood control tunnel, we are able to reintroduce our iconic bald cypress to the Confluence. In the Cypress Grove alone, we will be planting over 24 bald cypress around this natural pool in the creek, immersing trail users in beautiful Central Texas nature. This will provide visitors with a snapshot of regional landscapes like those found in Wimberley or Dripping Springs, and transport visitors back in time to what Waller Creek would have looked like 200 years ago. This is a rare opportunity to have such a robust native landscape in the heart of one of the country's largest cities. The Cypress Grove Bridge is a curved, dual cantilever, post-tensioned concrete bridge. The engineering and design is not just to make a beautiful structure, it is also achieving some critical accessibility goals. Universal access means that we avoid the use of ramps and stairs, and instead create a gently sloped walking surface for all trail users, regardless of their mobility needs. In order to achieve these slopes, you need a little bit longer bridge. The curve of the bridge is giving us extra length so that we can keep a more gentle slope and not have to use ramps and platforms. Additionally, the cantilever allows this bridge to have a really thin profile on the eastern side of the creek. That's important because as part of Phase 3 of our project, we're putting a boardwalk trail that goes underneath this bridge and that will take you all the way up to Waterloo Park. This highlights a theme you'll see throughout the project. Each feature is intentionally designed and hardworking, achieving multiple benefits at the same time. If you look to the east of the creek, just south of 3rd Street, you will see Palm Park, which is the second part of Phase 2 of the Waterloo Greenway project. We are currently in the design phase, and if our fundraising stays on track, we expect to begin construction on the transformation of Palm Park in the fall of 2026. Palm Park is one of Austin's oldest parks, dating back to the early 20th century. It has been an important space to East Austin and the Mexican-American community throughout its history. The development of I-35 and the closure of the Palm School cut the community off from the park and led to years of underutilization and disrepair. Waterloo Greenway will revitalize Palm Park, highlighting history, culture, and returning it to a space for families and children in downtown Austin. Palm Park also presents an opportunity to stitch together East and West with the possibility of a new cap over a buried I-35 between Cesar Chavez Street and 4th Street. Looking west from Palm Park toward the creek, you can see how we rebuilt Waller Creek from the bedrock up, including a feature called a caliche kickback wall. This is a unique structural wall that also serves important environmental functions. Caliche is one of the uppermost layers of limestone in a quarry and is often discarded to get to the more desirable stone deeper in the earth. The upper layers have had less compaction, and water has worked its way through, creating cracks and seams. These flaws in the solidity of the stone mean it's usually regarded as a waste product and discarded to get to the more valuable stone beneath. Our designers at Michael Van Valkenburg and Associates saw these blocks and became interested in finding a way to use them. The motivation was not only for the sustainability and cost of using what would otherwise be a waste product, but also because it creates some important environmental benefits. First, the stone is providing slope stability. It is laid back into the slope, using the weight of the blocks and gravity to hold the very steep bank in place. Second, the courses of the stone are angled like ramps. During smaller storm events, this allows water to wash up those ramps, depositing soils and seeds in all the nooks and crannies and cracks of the caliche wall, creating new habitat. Over time, this process will turn the wall into a lush green limestone bluff that mimics some of the cave-like limestone creek features that you'll see on some iconic regional creeks. Next, we will visit the new 800-foot-long boardwalk that connects Palm Park and Waterloo Greenway to the north, all the way down to Rainey Street and the Butler Trail to the south. The boardwalk goes under Cesar Chavez Street and Red River Street, bypassing one of our busiest downtown intersections. The boardwalk takes visitors off of hot, crowded, and unsafe sidewalks and intersections and puts them on a 12-foot wide, universally accessible boardwalk that's bike and pedestrian friendly and immersed in nature. The boardwalk will shorten trips and make walking and biking more viable and enjoyable in Austin. Down along the Confluence, we are already seeing temperatures that are 5 to 7 degrees cooler than up at street level because of the proximity to water, the shade provided by the trees, and the prevailing southerly breeze that works its way up the creek. As we look south from the boardwalk, you will also see a riffle section of the rebuilt creek. Riffles don't only provide us with the pleasant sound of moving water, they also serve important hydrological functions and create habitat. First, the riffles narrow the channel and speed up the water movement, which introduces oxygen into the water. This improves creek health and supports plant and animal life. Additionally, the movement of the water keeps small sediment suspended in the water, transporting it down the creek and depositing it along the way. This also supports habitat creation for plants and animals. Lastly, the rock and log features in the creek that create the riffle also create habitat for animals. So if you're on a tour, you might see turtles and herons and egrets hanging out on top of the rocks getting some sun and hunting, while fish are hiding underneath the rock and nesting. As we move south, we pass under the canopy walk between the Fairmont Hotel and the Austin Convention Center. This bridge was designed by Thomas Pfeiffer and Partners, the same architects who designed the Moody Amphitheater. It was designed to be interactive with the boardwalk and the Waterloo Greenway trail system. This bridge allows people moving along to be immersed in the canopy of the trees, be able to hear and see the landscape and habitat below, and importantly, it enhances the public safety of this area as people interact with each other. This is one example of what we like to call eyes on the creek. The more people in and observing a public space, the greater the ownership and buy-in it creates for the success and safety of that space. When we have people regularly enjoying and investing in a public space, it feels more welcoming to all, and the safety and security of that space is much easier to manage. As we move south under Cesar Chavez Street, we see the first of 3 lattice bridges. The lattice bridges are a series of custom Virandeel truss bridges that connect east and west across Waller Creek. The bridges are between 140 and 150 feet long and connect critical points across the creek. The curved truss on the underside of the bridge is beautiful as it disappears into the natural landscape, emphasizing the experience of being immersed in nature rather than having to look through architecture and structure first. When you're walking along the surface of the bridge, you feel like you are floating above the creek, suspended in the tree canopy, creating a true escape from the city. The design of the bridges also enhances visibility and improves sightlines. The elevated perspective allows visitors to see trail connections and other lattice bridges, enhancing safety, improving accessibility, and making people visible to each other. Under the bridges, we've hidden conduit that's carrying all of the utility lines. Throughout the project, we're moving all overhead utilities underground, so the experience is about being immersed in nature and not interrupted by overhead utilities. As we look around, we are immersed in robust regional nature. In this section alone, we are planting over 200,000 plants featuring 200 different native Central Texas species. We are also planting nearly 1,600 trees. This is a generational investment in increasing the downtown tree canopy, which helps to combat the urban heat island effect and serves as a carbon sink for downtown Austin. The landscape creates habitat, enhances beauty, improves air quality, and provides temperature cooling benefits. As folks move through here, they will see everything ranging from creekside wetland plants to the robust perennials stabilizing the creek banks, to the colorful and showy pollinators in the garden areas up at the top of the banks. Where Waterloo Greenway meets Butler Trail, we have replaced an existing bridge with the third of our lattice bridges, the Hartman Bridge. The new bridge is wider, more accessible, and has better sightlines that will allow walkers, birdwatchers, e-bikes, cyclists, and runners to share the space safely and enjoyably. This bridge is on Butler Trail, which sees over 5 million annual visitors, so safety here is critical. Before the Waterloo Greenway project began, trail infrastructure existed along Waller Creek. The city's bicentennial gift to the country in 1976 was the development of trail systems along waterways, including Waller Creek and Shoal Creek. Unfortunately, because of storm events and the effects of rapid urbanization, much of that infrastructure was damaged, dangerous, and not accessible by modern standards. As a sustainability feature, a nod to the past, and a unique design element, we were able to preserve some of that 1970s infrastructure. The stone bluff features these large selvage limestone block walls installed in the 1970s. The bluff dips down below the busy main trail and brings visitors close to the banks of Waller Creek. Limestone seating has been placed in the shade where it is quieter and close to the water. Down here might be where you enjoy lunch, take a phone call, or just get off the hustle and bustle of the busy trail that is passing overhead. As the bluff goes underneath the Corgan Bridge, you have a unique view of the confluence, with people moving quickly overhead across the bridge, while down below you have the wildlife and gentle sounds of the creek next to you. As we cross the Corgan Bridge and look to the east, you can see directly down Rainey Street. This creates an important connection, inviting the residents and visitors of Rainey Street to use Waterloo Greenway and safely move through this area of the city and across Waller Creek. Lighting, guardrails, and a daily staff presence will create a safe and welcoming destination. Moving across the bridge to the west, we land in the Explorer's Garden. The Explorer's Garden is on a small hill that stretches up from Butler Trail. A previously sun-baked slope without any trees or shade is transformed into an opportunity to step off of Butler Trail and take a break in a shaded dry creek bed landscape. Visitors can spend time with their family and friends and enjoy the shade of nearly 24 live oaks, as well as free programs and events. The Explorer's Garden recreates a regional dry creek bed landscape. It's both a stormwater feature and a garden that references the iconic Central Texas Dry Creek. During rain events, water will move through and eventually make its way down into Waller Creek. During typical weather, this will be a garden with native plants, little bridges that kids can run across or under, with shade trees all around it. This is a playful landscape where parents or caregivers can sit on a shaded bench and the kids can run around and play. Right next to the Explorer's Garden is the Lakeview Terrace. The Lakeview Terrace is an elevated plaza with views out over Waller Creek and Lady Bird Lake. This space will be an important hub for programs and activities. It will host fitness classes, food and beverage carts, casual cafe seating, and become the meetup spot for run clubs. The terrace has unmatched views of Lady Bird Lake and Waller Creek due to the elevated position and location. The Lakeview Terrace also includes a lawn that slopes gently down to Butler Trail, which will be one of the best places for watching the bats fly overhead. The Lakeview Terrace will be a public space where Austinites share experiences and create new memories. The Leaf Deck sits close to Waller Creek and Lady Bird Lake and on a major migratory path for birds. Using this location as inspiration, an observation deck was built so that visitors can safely birdwatch and look for fish and turtles while immersed in dense native landscapes. The new deck also improves safety in this area. Previously, visitors would stop on the bridge to enjoy views of the creek, creating conflicts with bikes and runners. The Leaf Deck is completely separated from the bridge and even closer to the water. Below the Leaf Deck is a flat, shaded area where we installed stone seating to create an outdoor classroom right at the water's edge. The outdoor classroom will allow us to partner with schools, lead outdoor education, host citizen science, stage creek cleanups, partner with local organizations for volunteerism, and more. We will be able to do all of this right in the heart of the city, just off of the Greenway Trail, and next to our iconic Lady Bird Lake. We end our tour at the place where Waller Creek meets Lady Bird Lake, the natural feature that gives this phase of Waterloo Greenway its name, the Confluence.
Hi, I'm Evie Nasro, and I lead our fundraising team. Thank you for joining us for a tour of the Confluence. The construction of Waterloo Greenway is a $400 million project. And as the nonprofit partner, the Conservancy is responsible for raising $100 million in private community support. And thanks to the generosity of Austinites like you, we have raised $75 million to date. We hope you'll be inspired to join us in shaping the future of our great city and building on Austin's legacy of community green space.